Sha'poppin, guys. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a minute since you've seen me. It's been a minute, for real. It's been a minute because I'm just trying to get better. Aren't we all trying to get better? Duh. Sha'poppin, guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time seeing me, thank you for watching. I so appreciate the click, the like, the share, the play button, all of that. Please hit the subscribe button below and or comment on some of the things I'm about to touch on. So today I wanted to do a bit of a different video for all my Netflix binge watchers and my people who can get so connected to a character on a show. I have been a ride or die Orange is the New Black fan, and I recently binge watched their whole last season and wanted to give my perspectives on the ending. Some people were anti the show after Poussey died because they felt like she was just the, you know, she had just such a adorable character arc and we really loved her. And after she died, some people just kind of gave it up, but I've kept the show going, so I've written it out to the end, and it is a final season. So I have some thoughts on the ending of some characters, if I felt like they gave it its justice, and just overall some issues, some social issues that were addressed in the show, because shows are always a reflection of what is going on currently. So they've pulled a lot of social issues such as ICE, immigration, the Me Too movement. Some mental disabilities came forth within the inmates that kind of just destigmatize what these issues look like and how they look. So let's get into it. As a preface, there will be spoilers, so if you have not fully watched it and or you do not want to know what happens, click out now and binge watch it and let me know what your thoughts are. So let's get into some of the things that I really enjoyed. I wrote some notes down and wrote the characters' names down because I really didn't want to get tied up with their names and mess them up or botch them. That is never my intention. So some of the social issues they addressed. About halfway through the season, they faced one issue head on with the Me Too movement. Mr. Caputo was an old warden in Litchfield prison, and he recently came back to the prison in the new season 7 that came about, and he's basically doing the programs that want to be led. And there's a scandal that comes forth with C.O. Fisher. C.O. Fisher used to be in some of the earlier seasons, I believe season 3 and 4, and she was fired after Mr. Caputo, she denied Mr. Caputo's advances. So basically this whole scandal came uproar, and it kind of shows some of those social issues happening in today's society with the Me Too movement and how we're kind of tackling those issues now. So I really appreciated that they talked about that. Diversity hires. Tasty's longtime friend Tamika Ward. They meet in the prison. They cross paths again. Tasty is a prisoner, is an inmate in the prison, and Tamika is a security guard. And so they kind of reconnect. And in this season, she gets hired as the new warden. And we kind of see her face these issues head on. She's dealing with passive aggression in the workplace. She's dealing with how to be the face, the head of a scandal when she's just now getting into the job. They're putting her in situations that are too big for her feet to handle, but they know that she's the new face. So she's dealing with a lot of those pressures. So I really appreciated that they talked about that. They also, for a large part of the season, talk about ICE, immigration and deportation. Maritza Ramos, she was in the earlier seasons. Her and her best friend in the prison were kind of our comic relief. I loved their characters. Every single time they came on screen, I always giggled because they just have that line where it's just like, wait, what? Why would they say that? Why would they, you know? But I love it. It's nice, especially with such a heavy undertone of a women's prison. They're all in there for their serving their time. It's nice to hear a nice comic relief throughout the season. So Maritza is currently out. She starts starts the season out of prison. She finally got out and she's at a bar with some of her friends, and there's an ICE raid, and she's led back to Litchfield, but this time she is a deportee because she does not have her green card and or legal documentation of her being a U.S. citizen. So they face these social issues head on, such as ICE as well in the season, and I can really appreciate that because this is going on so much. I am currently located in Dallas, Texas. If this is your first time seeing me, I am currently in Dallas, and it's happening in McAllen, which is about 8 hours, so it is probably about a full day's drive. But the fact that it's happening so close to me is just crazy to me, that, you know, these kids are being detained right now and are being withheld from their parents within any bloodline. They're just separated right now because of what's going on, and that they're seeking asylum. So I really appreciate that they talk about that. They talk about life after prison, and aka prison reform. We see Piper, she starts the season out of jail, so we kind of see her face head on some of the issues that come with having a record. She's trying to apply for jobs. She's trying to get her curfew that she needs to be indoors. All right, the camera keeps cutting off. Whatever. Character arcs and mental issues and mental health issues that I like that they addressed. Daya becomes a villain in this season. In seasons past, we've kind of known her to be a gentle girl. You know, she's doing art in prison, she's drawing, she's falling in love with guards. But in this season, we kind of see her do a whole flop. She's the one she's the leader, she's the playmaker, she's the one who's she's making the plays. She's boss, she's the boss, basically. It's her hot girl prison summer, basically. Dyslexia, we see learning disabilities addressed with Doggett. Inmate Doggett, she's another one whose storyline has kind of developed through seasons past. We kind of have known her coming into it to be a girl who was one of the bad girls. You know, she was in prison doing drugs. She didn't really care for structure. She was part of a crowd of girls who were rowdy, known to be rowdy towards guards and cause ruckus. And now we kind of see her in this season become somebody who cares about learning. She cares about wanting to know herself better. She enrolls in the GED program, and that's where we see her confront this issue that she has dyslexia. So this is cool that they're talking about these issues while in prison. Dementia and memory loss with Red, one of our strongest characters throughout the whole season. Through this season becomes one of the weakest because of solitary confinement. She starts out in solitary confinement, and it's been months of throughout the timeline is what they say in the show, and it's really affecting her mental health. She's starting to forget things. She's starting to not really know why she did something, but she acted on it, and there's no rhyme or reason. So she's sent to the doctor, and they tell her she has early onsetting signs of dementia. So we see that as well. Blanca Flores, she started out as a wild card inmate. I mean, she was doing crazy stuff like taking pictures of her hoo-ha in the bathroom, and she snuck a phone into jail, and she was doing crazy stuff, and she was speaking Spanish on purpose because she didn't want anybody to know she knew English. You know, she was doing crazy stuff to protect herself. But in this season, we see her become a playmaker as well in her own way. She is sent back into the prison through Litchfield because she is a deportee for the ICE immigration issue that we see halfway through the season that enrolls out pretty much the rest through, and she becomes one of the playmakers in her case. She's basically fighting it, and she's letting them know that she's standing her ground, and it's pretty cool to see her character enrolled. Suzanne, we kind of see a lot of destigmatization of mental health going on with Suzanne. Suzanne started out as a wild card as well. We saw Suzanne, you know, when she was kind of still learning how to interact with the outside world, and she wasn't being treated as a baby as her mom in real life would, and she kind of starts to recognize some of her really good sides, and she starts to interact with the good, you know, the good devil versus bad, the good angel versus bad devil kind of shoulder play we kind of see Suzanne always deal with. But in this season, she's always choosing her good side, and she's always choosing the side that is for friendship and unity and love and things that she's good at. And we see Suzanne grow in these things during that season, during this last season. Nicky. Nicky is a longtime character of the show as well. She started out as a little rebel of the jail as well. She was doing drugs. She was caught up in a lot of the backdoor things going on, and Red kind of operated as her motherly figure. So it's kind of sad to see Nicky see Red going through these issues that are kind of making her not feel like herself, and making her not feel like she is the Red that they all know and love, because she is the Red that took care of everybody in the prison. So we kind of see Nicky assume this motherly role at the end of it all, and she's the one who's taking care of people who are sick or cooking and things like that, and we see her just assume this role because she's given the power to do so through Red looking out for her when she really needed it. So we see this whole thing spin, and then we also see topics on sex positivity and genital mutilation. Nicky meets a girl named Creech, who is a inmate, but she is a detainee, so she's part of the ICE immigration situation, and where she was, her home country where she was from, her genitals were mutilated because she was open to her family about her sexual orientation. So it's very serious, some of these issues that people are seeking asylum from, and we see this brought up in such a dynamic way. And lastly, the kind of the overarching thing that I feel was introduced to this last season was tech. We saw a lot of phones. A lot of inmates were sneaking phones in, and there was a lot of backdoor deals being made with security guards in efforts to the security guards to make more money. So the security guards were smuggling drugs and efforts, and then the inmates wanted technology, and there was just a lot going on. I think that whole concept of it, to keep phones in the jail, and therefore a lot of outside interaction. We even see Alex Voss, when Piper gets out of jail in the very beginning, we see Alex get a phone, and she's creeping on this girl that she thinks Piper is to be with, and she's on her Instagram story. I mean, they really just give us a ton of tech in this season, which is very new for Orange is the New Black. But overall, I want to hear y'all's thoughts about it. If you guys are an Orange is the New Black fan, please comment down below, or tell me what your favorite part was. Tell me if you are okay with them introducing tech because it was essentially about to end, or tell me if you feel like there are any other shows that Netflix has been pretty good about making. And I hope to see all of this representation and breaking of the barriers in more Netflix shows to come. So thank you again for watching, and bye. Thank you guys.